We're reading in the Gospel according to Matthew, in the 22nd chapter, the first 14 verses. The rest of the 22nd chapter touches on paying taxes, marriage, children, and life after death. So in one chapter, we get almost all of life, because our passage talks about a wedding celebration. The chapter also includes Jesus' famous summary of the law, and it has trick questions posed to Jesus by two of the main factions in Jesus' day, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Now, if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to pause the video and read the passage out loud together. Jesus often tells parables as his way of teaching people and transforming disciples. A parable isn't just an illustration for a sermon. A parable isn't just a rhetorical trick to hold our attention. A parable is the Spirit's way of actually working on us and changing our heart. The words of Jesus are more like medicine for our heart than just ideas for our mind. This room that I'm standing in right now is the fellowship hall of the church, but it used to be the sanctuary for Lake Murray Presbyterian. Many weddings were conducted right here in this room. And after the construction of our current sanctuary, this room is the space where we hold receptions and banquets after marriages. Imagine how strange it would be for a family to throw a wedding banquet here, but have the invitations ignored and rejected, treated with hostility and violence. But the groom's father still insists that people come to celebrate the wedding, so he brings in a kind of strange generosity, a weird hospitality. Jesus' parable startles us with an almost fierce hospitality of the kingdom of heaven. Some people want clear, strict rules and guidelines for who gets into the kingdom. Both the Pharisees and the Sadducees wanted that. They had different ideas about what those rules should be, but they wanted strict rules for the kingdom of heaven. But then Jesus comes along, and he startles us and the hearers of his day with the message of generosity for the kingdom of heaven. It is the grace of God through Jesus that brings us into the kingdom of heaven. So 2 questions for you to think about. Have you heard and accepted the call into the kingdom of heaven? If not, say yes. You are invited to the banquet. Say, yes, I'm coming. And secondly, are you ever tempted to want to set rules for who gets into the kingdom of heaven and who gets left out? Let's get back to our wedding banquet here in the fellowship hall. Think about how strange it would be to attend a wedding reception right here in this room and see a guest in cut-off jeans, a raggedy old muscle t-shirt, and rubber flip-flops. It would be very awkward to hear the groom's father go up and publicly rebuke the ill-dressed yokel. And it would be even stranger to hear the father call the caterers and say, "Come here, tie this guy up and throw him into the retention pond behind the dumpster." This part of Jesus' parable seems so contrary to the extravagant hospitality we just read about. The king's actions startle us with the second point of the parable. Once we are brought into the party by the host, brought into the kingdom of heaven by God, there is an expectation that we will live like citizens of the kingdom of heaven. God expects us to conduct ourselves as guests of the banquet. The host isn't picky about who comes to celebrate, but he expects us to celebrate. 2 questions that we could talk about. Have you experienced for yourself, or maybe in someone close to you, the life-changing power of the kingdom of heaven? Second question, is there some portion of your life that needs changing because now you're in the party, you're part of the kingdom of heaven, and you need to live that way? God bless.